In Monday's video, I was talking about the need to create a solid foundation if you want to be a good decision maker by looking at your lifestyle decisions, particularly referencing sleep and your habits around alcohol. And another thing to add to that is to not underestimate the impact of food on your decision making, on being fed and well hydrated. In Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow, he talks about the research with 6 Israeli judges who were unwitting participants in a study where their decisions were assessed in relation to when they took their meal breaks, and it was found that their decisions became far more favourable just after a meal break and far less favourable just before a meal break. So better hope your application for parole was read by those judges just after a meal break, because that seemed to be the decisive factor on whether it was accepted or rejected. And then there's other research that seems to suggest that external stimuli, like the people that you surround yourself with, the vibe going on in your life, can have an impact on your decisions. So what I do when I'm facing a difficult decision, when there's a difficult conversation, when my brain is hurting as I'm trying to get around a piece of work that I'm wrestling and struggling with, I always think, have I eaten? Am I hungry at this point in time that I'm wrestling with this thing? Because if I am, that's not going to help me. So maybe I'll grab a pot of tea. Maybe I'll put that decision off until just after lunch when I can think about it. So as well as changing location, I've talked about that in other videos, I will think about food and nutrition and when I make my decisions during the day in relation to food and nutrition. So I'm not trying to do difficult mental stuff on an empty stomach.